turned and strode toward the woods, Stark and Sporenberg trailing just behind him. "Herr General," his adjutant said, urgency turning his voice ragged. They're right, sir. There are rumors, stories that the Americans are looking for the Reich scientists to snatch them before the Russians can reach them." "But I am not a scientist, Stark," Kammler replied quietly. "Not like von Braun or those other cowards. No, this is the only way." He stopped and turned. "You two shouldn't come any closer. It's dangerous, die Glocke." "I'll take those." "I had no idea that Project Kronos would have such practical applications, General," Gruppenfuhrer Jakob Sporenberg said. Stark hefted the two black cases he was holding. "I can manage, Herr General. And screw the danger. No arguments. Give me the papers, Untersturmführer." "Jawohl, Herr General." Stark vanished back in the direction of the complex entrance, and Kammler and Sporenberg proceeded through the eerily lit woods. On their left, the cooling tower blocked out much of the sky. Raised on an immense concrete support structure, a ring, positioned on 10 enormous pylons, the wooden tank contained thousands of liters of water used to cool the ranks of electrical generators buried in an underground chamber deep below. Nearby, power cables snaked up through heavy pipes and ran along the forest floor. The two generals followed the cables along a well-worn path. The bags were heavy, perhaps 40 kilos worth in all, but fortunately there was not much farther to go. Ahead, Die Glocke hovered half a meter off the ground, a metallic acorn shape 4 meters high and 3 wide, bathed in a blue-violet nimbus of its own generation. 6 heavy power cables, each as thick as a man's thigh, were connected to the device by means of ports around the swollen base. Several technicians stood off to the side, awaiting their final order. A hatch stood open in the thing's side, spilling red light into the blue-lit night. The two men hauled the leather bags up and began passing them through the hatch. For Kammler, it felt like swarms of ants were crawling on his skin, the effect of the enormous electrical charge bleeding into the air. "You know what to do, Jakob," he said. "The last of the slave workers, they are to be eliminated." "Ja, it will be done. Tonight." "And Daimler, Drück, Stark, and the rest. They know far too much. It's already been arranged, Herr General." "Good. I knew I could count on you, Jakob." Kammler cracked a rare smile. "And now our guest is waiting for me." He turned again and clambered up and through the hatch. Inside, strapped into a narrow wire framework, the Eidechse turned its bulbous head, looking at Kammler through those lustrous golden eyes. Kammler suppressed a shudder. The thing, man-shaped but utterly alien, was the ultimate in Untermenschen. "I might say the same of you, General." Kammler heard the words in his head, but the creature's lipless mouth did not move. How are you supposed to keep secrets from a damned thing that could read thoughts? "Strap in, General. We must leave this place." "Ja, ja." Outside, the technicians were uncoupling the massive power cables. They, too, would not survive this night, even if they survived Die Glocke's power field. Sporenberg, too. His death had also been arranged. There could be, no loose ends. "How far?" the voice in his head asked. Kammler took a deep breath. "I would say about 20 years. That ought to be enough." He felt the power field building around him. Chapter 1. I was a flight security supervisor, FSS, for the Minuteman missiles at Grand Forks AFB, North Dakota, from May 1973 until December 1978. We had an incident around 1977 when strange lights took over our missiles. I just wanted to confirm that these incidents were happening. USAF Technical Sergeant Thomas E. Johnson, retired.